We're gonna go walk around this thing. So we have a 21 Ram 1500. This does have the Rebel package, so you get the more off-road wheels, tires. This is the factory stance with the Bilstein shocks and everything. Does have the cool plastics on the hood, the fence and everything. I don't think they're really actually functional, but they look cool. The more tough front bumper, this is the front end I like. Really gives you good approach angles and stuff here. Looks awesome. There's a couple little like chips in like the enameled surface or whatever this is, but nothing major. No real ding, like just the dings, no like damage, right? Going down the body, all in really good shape. I always like to look at the bottom of the cabs here for rust and see any of that when we're doing our underside. And then truck beds also look really good here. And then this did have the option for the black tips, which I'm glad he did. Now I'm gonna get into a couple things that I found while I was walking around. You did have a note about this rear bumper. Might be hard to kind of tell at this angle, but there's a little bit of an alignment on there. So we'll go to this side first, see where that's kind of sticking out a little. And then you come to this side and it's a lot closer. So like no gap, right? So that's what drew my eye. Honestly, the bumper doesn't have any damage or anything to it. The plastics all look like they are good. There's no real scuffs or scrapes or any kind of like, because this is like an enamel, it's not like just paint, it's like textured. So you would notice if that was touched up. There's a little bit of like a scuff here. I can't tell if it's like the dirt and stuff from me driving and then wiping it, if it's just me. But yes, there is a little bit of a gap here. On the underside, I did note the bolts do look like they've been turned, so they probably tried to adjust it. I don't know if the bumper had some of the plastics replaced, but that's all I could really find. I'm gonna open this. Anytime trucks have like a really bad rear ending, you'll see like these have been messed with. This is your pan down here. So this is your seam for the bed that meets the lower portion of the bed there. Normally like some of this stuff will be gone, like this little protective coat. You'll see the like seams and stuff here are all like redone. I don't see any of that. So there's no weird paint marks or any kind of overspray or anything. That plastic is plastic. It's just kind of shiny right now from the wax. And then yeah, one more thing I did notice, we have like a little, I don't know if the camera will show it, there's a ding on the back of the cab right here. There you go, right there. Nothing crazy. Just a couple light scratches. Honestly, for a Rebel, it's pretty good. Yeah, looks good. We're gonna stop here and keep moving on the rest of the inspection. I'm gonna start this video, but I'm gonna set this in the engine bay here, and I'm gonna actually walk away and get this started while it's here. I'm just gonna set it down and fuse. Fires right up, really easy, no weird sounds. On cold start too, it didn't have any of that exhaust. I know these are always notorious for the exhaust leak. It does not do that. Normally when you hear these with the MSD, the cylinder shut off, or the failures, you'll get some really hard tick, especially when they're hot, because everything's become more viscous, not as thick. Sounds good, no stutters or anything like that. It's very smooth. So plenty of get up and go. It is a rainy day, so your traction control works. I always like to look at our radiators, hoses, belts, all look really good. Air filter we can't check because it's bolted, and we always tell these guys we don't disassemble anything, but there is a bolt missing there. Radiator on this side really good. Look down, this is your frame, and then crash rails. All looks really good. I always look down here for like bolts that look like they've been twisted, turned, or messed with. And then you got your fuse box. This is your electric Power steering assist. This is your ABS, brain, fuse panel, washer tank. Battery's newer. This has seen better days, but it's there. I mean, most of the time those are missing. And no leaks. Everything. I know you were asking about water pump, which is right there. This pulley with no fan. It's electric. Try and get you over on this side. See down here. Normally you would see chalk running down these, because like when coolant dries, it's like chalky. It's not. It doesn't stay wet because it's water based. But coolant does have additives in it, so you'll see like a white chalk in there. And there's nothing down below or anywhere around the hoses or anything like that. And down here is your heater core and everything here. So looks good. We'll keep moving here. All right, we are going to do our undercarriage. We use this mirror to kind of show you what we're looking at. So I start from the front here. I always like to look from the front looking back, and it shows you if anything's hanging down, sagging, been dragging, or been hit. If anything's wet, you'll see really shiny surfaces. It has been raining today, so like you'll see there's little driplets of water, but shiny stuff is what I'm talking, like it looks oil, like you just put baby oil over that thing, lathered yourself up. That's what cars will look like with leaks. Like I was saying, this does have the Bilstein because it's the Rebel package, and your accessories are nice and dry under there. Pan's really dry and everything. You see your oil filter in place, so that's good. We're going to keep going from here around the corners. Driver front corner, this is your body mount for your frame and the truck get mated together. This is going to be your driver side catalytic converter. That textured pan is your transmission pan. It is a service only check. We don't have a way to like check fluid on there. I believe you're right about service mileage. I think it's 60,000 on these trucks, I think. They used to say lifetime way back in the day, but not anymore. Just check records or ask, make sure. I know like the plugs and stuff are 100, so you got a while on those. Frame's in really good shape, no surface rust even, so that's really, really good. The coating's still doing its job. Come back here. Rams do a 4-link with a coil instead of leaf springs, and then a heavy duty coil, and then you have the Bilstein shocks. All look good. These actually ride really good too. They stay pretty stable. We'll go to the back. All right, you did talk about this had a Carfax note for like a rear end. One thing I was noticing when you get up in here, you can see those green studs and then the nuts there. That's what your bumper and everything bolts to get to the frame, right? Those nuts have been moved. You can see marks where like there has been a tool put on them and then removed. And then some of these other brackets and stuff. Now I'll show you in a different portion of the video, but there is, for me it looks like the bumper was probably adjusted. It's not perfectly aligned on each side, but we'll get into that in like another portion. I don't want to like beat a horse twice, you know what I mean? So we're gonna keep moving from the rear here. All right, this is the passenger side now with the 4-link here. All looking really good. Stock exhaust. Body mounts. Those tubs here, those are your floor storage, so keep that in mind. You ever do some long off-road. And cat on the passenger side, trans panel from this side, all the cooler lines and everything look really good. Body mount as well. Looks good. Checks out really nice. That's your oil pan right there. I tried to get a good sight on that. Nice and dry. Okay, so we are on the inside of the vehicle. I always start here at the wheels so you can just see what I'm seeing. So you don't have adaptive cruise. You do have your cruise control here, your shifting, phone, and then your menu for up here. We're at 56,673 or 073, sorry about that, at the time of the test drive and everything. Truck runs really good. This has like the Rebel trim. So like you'll see it on the hood and stuff. It's got like the off-road locker. It has like Bilstein shocks instead of the air ride and stuff. So it's kind of like the more luxury off-road package because it's still like very loaded inside. Center console has multiple storage components. Deep bin here, phone charge. I don't know if it's a phone charge. It's just like a clamp. I don't know if this one charges your phone. It's just a clamp here. multiple charge ports, your tow haul, park sense, trailer brake. This does have like nav, all the controls and stuff. Seems to be tracking correctly. Climate control is automatic. This does have the big glass top, but I'm going to step out for that portion here. The dial for the shifter, I know some people don't really like that, but it's kind of just what they're using. And honestly, like the Durangos and stuff, they put it here. And like my mom drove an Audi and she would just reach down because the infotainment was the same way, and like she would try to shift it, and it was not a, this is way out of the way, like you're reaching up. It's not where I would be concerned about it like some of the other models. Does have the pedals that move to you. This does go out and in as well as up and down. Not the tow mirrors, but they do fold. Auto windows in the front only. You have power seats on both the fronts here. This one has had a repair done in here. So WeatherTech carpets look really good underneath. Door cards are in really good shape. I did note like some of the doors on the lower parts here have a couple scuffs, but beyond that look really good. This does have the storage bins in the bottom of the floor here, and then storage down here. This piece will actually you can undo it, and I believe it'll come out further to like extend that storage. Center console for the center seat in the back here. No heated seats, but you do have power and vents here. And then your full glass top here. It opens up to like the halfway point, but the whole top can also close with the sunroof, and then a power sliding rear glass. Let me go to the other side. Here we are on the passenger side. Door cards again, really good shape. Like it's just a couple like little scuffs. Like I can catch that on my nail, but I have to say it. I can't not. These are in really good shape. They're not all beat up. Another floor pan on this side, or storage bin. Seats back here in really good shape. So looks good. And then coming over to the passenger front seat, so power seat here. Leather's also in really good shape. I see the camera shows me a little spot in the leather there. That's kind of hard to see with the eye, but the camera sees that. It's probably just the treatment they use. They probably saturated it there. I can't see it or feel it in my hand. And then your glove box, the Rebel, does have this extra bin, Rebel. And then some side pockets here, and then that's going to be your interior. Trims all really nice. Alright, we are in the back. So this is just a button you don't actually pull out, you just click. Does have a dampener in there, so it's a soft open. Has a plastic lay-in liner. You can see where it's rubbing on the paint in there. They kind of chew up the paint and make an abrasion if you get a Line-X anyways. At that point I would pull that out, get a Line-X done, get rid of this. It's nice, but it doesn't keep like the things out from getting under it, right? Like there's still, you can just pull that stuff open, and so you'll get like trapped moisture and stuff in those pockets there. So my opinion, I would get this out, especially with it already wearing, like look at this, it's wearing on the paint pretty good. So get that out, get a Line-X or some kind of Rhino liner, whatever you prefer. Rebel tailgate, camera there, and then there's also a camera. No camera on the third brake light. I thought there was. It's just another extra. It's raining. You do have your 7-pin, 4-pin, and that's going to be your trunk or truck bed tailgate hatch. Alright, we are going to go through the computer here. I always start here with the codes. First thing I like to point out, we want to make sure the VIN in the computer and the car is always the same. Checks out good. And then I'm just going to do a refresh on this. I like to do this so you guys can see. We do a minimum of 10 miles on our drive to make sure if anything's going to pop or come up that may have been cleared, comes through and lets us know the truth here. So that all checks out really good. And then we're going to keep going through a few monitors and stuff. I know you had some questions on the Hemi, so I'll just show you a few things that did stand out to me. Alright, this is going to be our monitors. These are going to be something the vehicle tests while you drive the vehicle. All green checks, that's good, that's what we like to see. Any of the gray circles, a lot of these things, they just overlap. So like your O2 heater is also going to check, like your heated catalyst, stuff like that. Redundancies, green checks, that's all good. That's what we like to see. We're gonna keep moving forward here. All right, so these are onboard monitors. Basically goes through and just tells you values from your drive. We got lots of OKs, really good. Nothing really that worried the car. Now when I get down here though, I did see on cylinder 7 there's a value of 2 misses. We got, you know, a couple here on 6 and then a couple here on 4. I don't know on the newer models, like I don't know which ones exactly shut off and turn back on. I don't know if that does count for a miss or if there was a miss when those shut on and off. I did get eco to go on and off while I was cruising on the highway, so that means like it should have been doing the shutdown as it's supposed to. The Chevys will tell you like, hey, I shut off 4 and then I'm running on 4 cylinders. This will just say eco mode, so I'm pretty sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. I don't feel any hiccups. There's no hesitations or anything while driving it. And like I said, out of 65,000, it had a couple counts on, what was it, 4, 6, and 7. But everything else checked out really good. And even with those counts, I just want to mind you, like, that's an acceptable margin. It said okay. No like actual concern was brought to the computer's attention. Now those could be like sympathy hits from the cold start. Like I said, when the cylinders turn on and off, maybe it was like something to do with that. But the car's not worried about it, but they did register a couple. All right, I'm gonna finish up here. This is our 21 Ram. It is the 1500 in the Rebel trim. Nice black paint on this guy. It is pretty kitted out. I'm pretty sure most of the options were selected on this. It doesn't have the air ride, but it does have the Bilstein shocks. It doesn't have adaptive or the safety sense on there. And then it has the full glass top. Tires are brand new. They were made and produced in 24. They all measure out 13/12, which is really good. You had a couple concerns about the Hemi, which during my drive, it has plenty of get up and go. Eco mode kicks on without any kind of hesitation or odd sounds. There's no hesitation when you give it throttle from Eco. You did also have questions about fluids. This is an electric power steering system. The coolant, the water pump and everything's nice dry. I did a good job, I feel, showing you all that in a different portion of the video. As far as the rear end, at most, I think the bumper was adjusted, possibly replaced, because there's no like paintwork to it. I did point out the misalignment on it, but I didn't see any like impact. So I don't know if it was like caught or just pushed against or like leaned on by another car, essentially. Kind of odd. I didn't find any scuffing on it at all. The other thing I would say is get rid of this plastic liner and get a real bed liner. It is rubbing the paint to the bare, so you'll start getting rust in those sections. When you do the Rhino liner, they pretty much tear all that down for a good surface for the liner to bind to. Doesn't have the tow mirrors, but it does have power mirrors. They do fold. And with the Rebel package, you do get the rear locker as well as 4-low. You can use the rear locker in 2-wheel drive on these models, which I think is really cool. That way, if you're like playing in the sand or something like that, with lockers, you don't want to be going too fast. Keep that in mind, but really cool to have something like that. It really help articulate when you get through some stuff. We're gonna stop here. This is gonna be a good conclusion point. This thing checks out pretty good.